This episode is brought to you by Naked Fig Soap. Shop over a dozen handcrafted artisan soaps locally sourced and made in Arizona using the finest non-toxic intentional ingredients. Naked Fig Soap also offers facial care products along with accessories like soap dishes, soap saver bags, and more.
Visit their website at nakedfigsoap.com and use code DRUMMINGUP, all one word, for 20% off online orders. And that is the best place to find her now.
Yes.
She doesn't really have a storefront so much as she has
As of right now.
Yeah, as of right now,
Yes.
she has her products in certain locations,
Yes.
which again is the best place to find her is at her nakedfigsoap.com website.
Yes.
Or her socials. Instagram is a great spot to find her. Ask her any questions where she's going to be at like a farmer's market.
Yes.
You can find all that out. Or
But coming up, she's
Yeah.
moving to bigger and better opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. And we're very happy to hear that because,
Yes.
we just want to
She's
make
one
sure
of our
she's doing
favorite,
okay.
favorite companies.
Oh, yeah. Whenever we're getting low, we always place our order.
Yes.
And again, use that code drumming up,
Yes.
all one word, to get that 20% off discount.
For sure.
nakedfigsoap.com. It'll be in the show notes. We'll have her website. And then the best thing to do is from the website, go find her socials, follow her. That helps her. And by you doing that, it helps us because we know you're listening and we know you're buying her great products. She also offers tattoo care and everything too.
Yes,
so
she does.
just a ton of stuff that she does. It's all locally made and everything. So what was that website again?
That is nakedfigsoap.com.
Using code drumming
Drumming
up,
Up.
all one word, for 20% off at checkout.
Hi there, this is Julian of Gorad, and you are listening to Drumming Up Conversation. Hell yeah.
Drumming up conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Drumming up, yeah. Conversation. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Drumming Up Conversation. I'm Justin Wood.
I'm Andrea Wood. Intro and outro music is provided by Arizona prog metal band Temporal Displacement. You can find their music anywhere you listen to your favorite music. Check out the newest album. If you have any questions, email us at drummingupconversation@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Drumming Up Conversation and on X at Drum Conversing. Listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your favorite audio podcasts.
Yeah, audio
You can watch
versions.
the video version on YouTube, of course. Don't forget to download our episodes. Give us a rating and a review, 5 stars. Tell a friend.
Yeah.
Pass it on.
Pass it on, subscribe, all that good stuff. So if there are any technical difficulties today, we just got a brand new computer and we've already had some technical difficulties. So I had to restart everything,
Yeah.
which is fine. It's just stuff wasn't set like last time. So I had to go back and try and figure out how everything was set up and all that.
Yay for the new computer.
Yeah.
Boo for the advanced technology.
Well, it's just that I'd spent time on the last one getting stuff set up.
Yeah.
And then I just couldn't remember because it had been so long what the settings were. So I was just screwing around with it. And I hit a couple things that I didn't intend to hit. And yeah, so it should be all fixed now.
Hopefully.
But today we're having a guest we've been talking to for a while to get on. And
Yep.
it's Lana, Momma Gracey.
Yeah.
And that is Chad Gracey's mom.
Mhm.
So we're going to talk to her a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we'll get that started in a few minutes, everybody. All right, so today we are joined by Lana, Momma Gracey. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome.
How are you guys?
We're good.
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 It's getting very hot here in Arizona. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 112.
Yeah.
And monsoon season is supposed to start tomorrow, which means we'll have walls of blowing dust and flash flooding.
Yeah, hurricane-like weather. So
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah.
yeah.
And scorpion
stay
season
here.
just started.
Oh, okay. I'll stay here in Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Yeah, we
We
just killed our first one the other night.
we were
so.
letting the dog out the other night, and there was a scorpion
Oh.
about this big on our
Ooh.
pillar on our patio. Yeah.
Most of
Uh-oh.
my a
Had a little glitch here.
snake. And then I fell down the street. So I saved that and put it in my yard. But I can't find him now, so I don't know what's going on. So they're my animals.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say Lana is a great name that is not used so much anymore. That's a great name.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
When I was born in New York, and in the city, 3 doors up from where I raised my kids. I was born in the bedroom at my parents' home. I wasn't born in a hospital. And when I was born, my mother was going to name me Melissa. And the doctor decided that he didn't like that name. So he said, let's name her Lana. So she was going to spell it Lonna, like Donna.
Uh-huh.
And he said, no, spell it Lana, because that's the way bananas are supposed to be pronounced. They're supposed to be pronounced bananas. So that's how I got Lana.
That's a great name.
So there's a crazy story,
Yeah.
just follows me around. So, but I get Lana all the time.
Yeah, it comes with the territory. So
Yeah.
so are those Chad's records behind you?
Yes, they
That's
are.
awesome.
They were a secret Samadhi one,
Okay.
with a million and a 2 million copy.
Wow.
And then the other one is the platinum for Distance to Hear.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I have a lot more, but I don't have them all hanging.
Yeah.
We can send you our address.
Yeah.
So where did you meet your husband?
Okay. Well, I was a lifeguard at a public pool,
Mhm.
and I was up on my chair, and my husband and his crazy friends were in the water, and my husband kept on psst, 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 like that to me, and I said, "This guy's really weird. Get away from me," So I didn't bother any with the. Well, here I come to find out that he was good friends with my cousin's husband, and they invited me down for dinner at their place, unknowing that this guy was going to be there. So that's basically how we met. So yeah,
Cool. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So, and we were together for 39 years before he passed.
What year did you get married?
We got married in 1970.
That's the year I was born.
Oh, well, I was born in 71.
Yeah.
Then my other
Ch-
child was born in 75. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Well,
And did you work when you were
I did
raising
work.
Chad? Okay.
When the kids were little, I stayed at home.
Okay.
But then when they went to school, I worked in some school cafeterias. And then I went to work for a credit union. And I was with a credit union for 31 years as a loan officer.
Oh, nice.
That's really cool.
But I also worked, my husband was in construction. So he'd get laid off in the winter. So to help out, I would go to Central Market in New York, and help set up a stand. Then come home, shower, go to my work for 8 hours at the credit union, then leave there and go from 6 to 9 to a little, it was called Perrydale. It was a little farm that they made home. They made their ice cream and had milk, and milked their cows and had milk and everything. Yeah. So, but I didn't do that for long. It was just, I do that over the winter times when my husband be laid off. So,
Okay.
and he was in construction for 30 years. And then when he turned 51, he went to the York County Prison as a correctional officer.
Oh, wow.
And he just loved that job. He wished he would have did it forever. And
Did you like that job? Did you like him having that job?
he worked night work, so we didn't. So our marriage got along pretty well, because we didn't see each other. No, no, but he worked night work, and he loved night work. He didn't like the day work because he said the younger guys would instigate the prisoners, and then they'd be paperwork and all that stuff. Of course, when they were sleeping, he didn't have much to do. So,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Has York changed a lot, or is it still a shit town?
me, it was never a shit town because I still live in the city. Thank you very much.
I'm kidding.
I know you are. I know.
I've looked at pictures on Google Maps. It looks beautiful there.
It is a very nice city. Of course, there are areas where, they don't take care of it and all that kind
For
of
sure.
stuff. Um, and it it really had there, like I said, there things have changed, but to me, with living here all the time, I just watch the change. I have very good neighbors. They help me out whenever I need it or whatever. And I live near a park and a lake
Nice.
that I walk around every day. Um, there's a lot of egrets. Do you know what egrets are? The white birds.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what egrets are?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, Kiwanis Lake, around where I live, is one of the few places they come to nest.
Oh, wow.
So we have a lot of egrets there to nest. And I walk by every day, and there's these people with these high telescopic lenses that go out, and I always say to them, "Are you with National Geographic?" Just to, they joke, and they just laugh at me, but that's okay. But yeah, a lot of ducks and geese there, and baby ducks and geese right now. So yeah.
Oh. So, is it still pretty much a small town, or is it quite a bit bigger now? Or does it just have a small town feel?
It just has a small town feel. It hasn't grown all that much, I don't think. I mean, sure, there were some malls put in, but now the malls are now the strip malls. They take the big malls out, and put strip malls in, and that type of thing. So yeah, it's home to me. So what can I say?
What do they have a big 4th of July celebration there?
Sometimes they do at our fairgrounds. We have York Fair,
Okay.
which a lot of people come to. Kid Rock was just here at the end of May and performed at the York Fairgrounds. They usually put on a big to do there sometimes. Yeah.
How about your neighborhood? Do you do anything in your neighborhood?
I don't do anything in my neighborhood, but my neighbors do a lot in my neighborhood. They're putting firecrackers off and fireworks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish fireworks would be banned unless it's done professionally.
Well, legally they are banned in the city, but I don't think anybody listens to rules anymore.
Same here, and it's so dry all the time, and it's so dangerous, and no one pays attention to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, they
Crazy
sell
world we
them.
live in.
Yeah, they sell them in like tents here for like 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
sell
fun.
they sell
Yeah.
them here too, and
Yeah.
they're supposed to be illegal, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not fair to the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Or the like the veterans and stuff too that those go off. I know a lot of them too. Those go off and like they have like
Oh
quick like,
yeah,
oh shit, oh okay, it's just 4th of July.
exactly.
All right, but yeah.
Yep,
So the home that
that's
you're
for
in,
sure. Yeah, yeah.
the home that you're in, is it a historic home?
It was born born. It was built in I think 1948.
Okay.
It's not the row house that I grew up in. That was more of a historic, but it's not considered historic. The
Gotcha.
old historic homes downtown, they're
Mhm.
the ones that are really considered historic. So mine isn't. I've lived in this house since 1991. I was in the other house from 73 till 91, and then we moved here.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And did you
But
have
it's
any?
not
Yeah.
haunted.
It's not haunted. Okay.
It's not haunted, except we are the third owners of this house.
Okay.
And my father passed away in 1996 on Valentine's Day. And I always prayed that he would give me a sign because I was a daddy's girl. And I always prayed that he would give me a sign that he was okay. And nothing. I never got anything. Well, in January of 2000, my closet door kept opening by itself.
Wow.
And I kept thinking, what's going on? And at the time we had a dog, we had a German Shepherd and Rottweiler mixed. He weighed 115 pounds. And I was thinking maybe Sam was opening that door with his nose, but so I got up on my night to go to the bathroom, came back and the closet door was hanging open. I said, I don't know what's going on. So when I called my husband on my way to work and I said, something's going on with that closet door. He said, yeah, I know. And I said, what do you mean, He said, I didn't want to say anything to you because I didn't want to scare you because you're there by yourself at night. I said, well, it really doesn't scare me. So a couple of days went by and I had to go up to our storage area to get a bag to put some gifts in. And I have little hospitality lights in my windows that come on at dusk and go off at dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And the one up in that area was off. So I came down, got another one, went back up, and it was on. So I said, oh, okay. So I got a bag, came back down, went back up because it wasn't the right size bag, and it was off again. So I came down, went back up, and it was blinking real slow. And I got a feeling that came over me like, it was just unbelievable. And I said, oh my gosh, Dad, it's you. You're telling me you're all right. The thing started blinking like crazy.
Oh, wow.
It was gone nuts. And I said, and my dad was always a jokester. And I said, okay, Dad, well, at least I know you're okay. If you want to stay around for a while, you can, or you can go back to where you're peaceful. So I told Rick about that, my husband, and he laughed about it. Well, he called me at work then, and about a couple hours later and said, well, I guess your dad's still here because I'm trying to put the garage door up. The light comes on, but the door won't go up. I said, okay, well, he's still there then. Give it about 20 minutes. And so he called me back. He said, yep, the door works now. So he was there. He kept doing things like that through electric until Valentine's Day of 2000.
Oh, wow.
Day he passed, yeah. So,
Yeah.
And then after my husband passed, he passed in May of 2010. And when his brothers and sisters would come over, my chandelier would blink in my dining room. So we knew he was there. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome. About as haunted as I got, So
right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good to have those versions of spirits in your house and the other way.
It's comforting.
Yeah. So exactly.
Yeah. So what
you guys have any things that go
on? I've lived in like haunted houses before.
Okay.
I had one. We actually just visited last Sunday, just on a whim. We were just in that area, and we just decided to go check it out. And it was in like northern Chandler. And what would pretty much happen is one day my mom was babysitting a little girl, and she was napping or whatever. And my mom looked down the hallway, and she saw this girl in like this Victorian dress, and she's like, "What are you doing out of bed?" And then realized, why would she be wearing a Victorian dress? And then after that happened, every once in a while, in like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, the water in the bathroom would just start turning on.
Oh my, yeah.
So we think what we put together, we couldn't find anything on it, but what we put together was that maybe she was drowned as a child. That's all we could come up with, and she would just turn on the water every once in a while. But it got creepy.
I believe in that stuff.
So do we. Yeah, when we go to ghost tours all the time out here, we have some friends that do a ghost tour, and we've seen some crazy stuff in there. We've done an episode from the brothel there. And when we were doing it the first time, we said, okay, if something's here, move the fan chains. And then sure enough, the chain started doing this. And I said, okay, make it stop. Yeah. And then it just stopped. And there's no reason it should have done that.
Right.
So it's just crazy stuff.
There you go.
So we have a lot of fun.
We have ghost tours in Gettysburg.
Oh, that's got to be cool.
Yeah.
Have you gone on those?
But I have gone on 1 or 2 of them, and every time we went, I didn't see him. We didn't see anything. So
usually
just
what we found out. Yeah, well, what we found out is the people that believe in it tend to not be messed with on those, and the people that are skeptics do.
Okay, well,
we've seen that a lot.
Sense.
Yeah. So we've heard stories of like guys going, I don't believe in any of this stuff, and then something bad happens to them, and they've ran up the stairs, like oh my god, yeah. So they usually go after them. So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So what music and bands did you listen to when you were growing up?
I was in the Motown, Temptation. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, yeah.
When did so I'm just curious out of this because how I know how my mom reacted. How were you when Chad started playing drums?
Okay. Well, he purchased his own drum set
Hmm.
from a kid that lived down the street from us,
Yes.
and we lived in a three-story house. And of course, he took it up to the third floor and started pounding on it. And thank goodness our neighbors were very good with it. But then my husband built in our garage a stage for him to practice on. But I was okay with Chad playing the drums. He played the saxophone in the band.
Yes. Yeah.
And he self-taught himself the drums. I mean, he never had a lesson in his life, but he would go up there and just chill out and start to play those drums and pound away. Yeah. So, but I was okay with it. It didn't matter to me.
Was there ever a song that he would play over and over and over again that would just drive you crazy?
Not really. Not
No.
really. I always liked all kinds of music. So no, it really wasn't. I just got sick of hearing the drums, pounded. So yeah, yeah. So, but they did well for themselves, of course, as you know.
Mhm.
Um, and my other son, Scott, he's an avid fisherman. He's an avid fly fisherman. So he was never into the music part, but he's a good kid too. So
What was their dynamic growing up? Were they close?
well, yeah and no. Brothers fight.
Yeah.
I know a few times he would chase Chad Taylor, I think it was, around the house with a butcher knife or something, when they were fighting, carrying on, doing that type thing.
I remember
Um,
hearing that on the Gracious
oh
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And we would go, Rick and I would go away on a vacation, like down to the beach for a weekend or something, and come back. And of course, there was a big party held at our house while we were gone. My nephew walked through our sliding glass screen door.
Oh no.
Um, we had all kinds of stuff going on then. Videos all over the house. I'm not going to tell you what videos, but uh, yeah, just kid stuff.
Okay.
So,
And did you want to ask something?
Oh, so once Chad started getting recognized and the band started getting recognized for their drumming, how did things change for you and your family, like in the town?
well, in the town, when they practiced in the garage, I had the police there all the time because people were called police. So I was a regular going down back to our garage to talk to the police, that type of thing. But as far as, I don't think York accepted them as well as they could have. Um, I just always got that feeling. I know that at one point they wanted to put a concert on back at the lake where we lived near, and they wouldn't let them because they said the insurance would be too high, the liability insurance and that kind of stuff. So the kids, they just kept doing what they do and ended up over in Lancaster and played over there a lot. So as far as my family, to me, Chad was always Chad. I always told him, don't ever forget where you came from.
And he did.
Yeah, I know he
Yeah.
didn't. And he was, and I think you might have heard this on Gracious too, that every Christmas Eve we go out to my cousin's for Christmas Eve. And when he became popular, then all the little kids, the cousins, the cousins' little kids, they would come up and want his autograph and all that kind of stuff. And that sort of said, well, maybe I did hit it big. They want my
Yeah.
autograph,
Yeah.
that type of thing. But as far as our family, no one really, we're more laid back. Like I said, I stressed to him so many times, don't ever forget where you came from. That was my biggest thing. So And I
Well,
always tell my kids, don't lie to me, because I don't care if it's a year or two down the road, I will find out. And when I do, I will come after you.
Okay, because I was just going to
Not,
ask.
not that I not that I ever found out lies, because I'm sure they did tell me something I never found out. But
Right. Yeah, I was just going to ask you, did you worry when he would go out on tour?
um, well, when they first started out and they traveled to CBGB's in New York with their van, the van would break down, and Chad Taylor's parents and his stepfather, they'd go pick them up and stuff, or we did or whatever, and because the van would break down, that type of thing. As far as worrying when he went out on tour, um, I know I didn't really worry. Um, let's just say I prayed a lot. Let's just say that. Um, and there were times when you would think, just hope they don't get hooked up with the wrong people, that type of thing. But I think the four of them, they were raised that they knew what right from wrong and that type of thing, but you still have that in the back of your head, of course.
For sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
so
you raised a great kid.
He's so
He's
he's such a
he's
great
yeah,
guy.
he's so I mean, he's been on a couple times with us. We just did a throwing copper episode with him, and that was just a
mhm.
blast. And just I mean, he's just been super cool with us. He always says
Yeah,
yes with anything, and just yeah, I mean, you did a good
yeah, yeah.
job, and he never let it get to his head. It's too bad what's going on with the rest of the band right now, because she's never seen live.
Hmm.
I
It
had
is. It is.
yeah, I had the fortune to see him once, but I want her to
Oh,
experience it, and it just hopefully it all
oh
works
yeah.
out and we can go to see him sometime. But yeah,
Well, we traveled a lot. Of course, we ran with Chad Taylor's parents, and one time we took a road trip down to Alabama to watch them come up through. And of course, they were on a tour bus where they could sleep, and we had to stop in a hotel and sleep, and then get up in the morning and travel. By Wednesday, we were like, "Is it time to go home yet?" We were so tired from getting in and out of the hotels and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, we had fun. And then I'm not sure if it was 2000. I think it was 2018, maybe. They played in Amsterdam, and Chad Taylor's mother and Patrick's mother, the three of us, we surprised them and showed up in Amsterdam.
Wow.
And yeah, that was a big surprise for Chad, because the other two guys were there when we got to the hotel, but Chad wasn't, and his uh, record the guy that took care of him, he kept calling Chad and telling him to get back to the hotel, and Chad thought something happened, and he walked in, and of course I jumped from behind a pillar, and he's there. What this is the emergency. you know so, but yeah, we had fun in Amsterdam. That was fun.
that's really cool. Was
And
that your
us
first
mothers
time going?
we're all crazy, so we had a trip in a taxi.
Mhm.
The taxi broke down in the middle of the street, and the guy didn't know how to move it, so we got out and we said, "Oh, we'll push you." The guy's there, "You will not." And we put up our muscles. We said, "We're from Pennsylvania, we can do anything." But they wouldn't let us push them, so we didn't. But we had to walk and find our way to where we were going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Had you
yeah.
ever been to Amsterdam before? Or was that your first time?
Oh, no, never been to Amsterdam.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, it was fun though. We had a good time.
Nice.
So
That's really
we
cool.
had recordings. I don't know if you ever knew that. We named ourselves. My name was Lana, and then Chad Taylor's name was Steph, and Patrick's mother's name was Dorinda. So we made up our name as LSD, and we did all kinds of recordings as LSD.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, but we had fun with it.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
and like I said, I'm sad that all this happened too. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things that sometimes people's egos get bigger than they should, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, because the other guys could easily go out and do this without the said person, and
Yeah, yeah.
that'd be 3/4 instead of 1/4. So
Right, right.
yeah,
I always say it'll work out the way it's supposed to. That's
yeah,
always
for sure, for sure.
that's
I
what
just want her. I just want her to see him.
I would love
I want
to see
Andrew to
him.
see him.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so it's
Oh,
selfish reasons, but yeah. So
of course, of course. But yeah, I'd like for you to see him too.
yeah, for sure. And did you see live a lot when they were touring?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yep. We traveled a lot. Yeah. So uh, that
Did you
was
like the
fun.
music?
Of course. Yes, we did like the music. Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because
Well,
I
I
know
like
a lot of parents are like, well, I like them because it's my son, but I don't really like the music too much.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
I've heard that too many times. So
yeah,
yeah.
no, I've always been a music person. I liked all kinds of music.
Mm.
Uh I gotta say though, the Death of the Dictionary, there's a song on there called Raising a Man. That was my favorite song of all time.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's very cool.
On their very first CD that they did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, they're all
Oh,
fantastic albums. So they're one of the few bands that didn't have a bad album,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So
oh, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you meet J-Ro? Curious about that.
Well, I really just met J-Ro through Chad over at the building one time where they have the studio, and I never knew him before that. And just became Mama Lana to everybody. I'm Mama Lana to everybody. So yeah,
Mama Lana or Mama Gracie? Which is it, either or?
either or doesn't
Okay.
matter to me. I currently work at a farmer's market on Fridays, and people come in there and call me Mama Lana all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I
Awesome.
do things that sometimes, like if I make a mistake, I'll say to my boss, I've worked there for about 10 years now, and my boss, I make a mistake and I'll say, is that grounds for being fired, maybe? Like hopefully, but she'll say no, because you're related to everybody in New York. With me working in all the places that I did, I know so many people, and it's just crazy how many people come up to the stand just to talk to me, and they'll ask for me to wait on them. So but
Mhm.
it's funny.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're kind of famous in your own way. So
Yeah, I think God put me on. I do. I think the Lord put me on this earth as to be a caregiver, because I have caregived for many people, and
mhm.
people still reach out to me to help them all the time, and I'm always there for them because that's what I do best.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's okay.
Now, does your other son Scott?
you.
Does he live near you?
Yes, he lives about maybe 4 blocks from me.
Wow.
Yes, in fact, he lives on the same street where they were raised, and he lives in a corner property. And he, of course, works over at the studio over at the building where he works over there with Bill Hines.
Oh.
And yeah, he's around a lot. He likes for me to cook for him. I don't like to cook anymore, but
No?
I cook for him now and then. But when Chad comes
what's,
home, then
what's the one
I'll-
dish that they like you to make when you all get together?
oh geez, manicotti,
Oh,
Nice.
that sounds good.
that, and they like. I don't make turkey for Christmas or Thanksgiving. I make capon,
Okay.
I don't know.
and it's a big capon.
Oh, really?
No, they're big.
Oh, really?
It's a neutered rooster,
Okay.
Okay.
and a stand-in at market where I work. They raise them for the holidays, and that's what I make and that's one of their favorites too. So yeah,
There's nothing like mom's home cooking.
I guess, but Mom doesn't like to cook
Mom
anymore.
doesn't-
I'm over it. I like to bake though, but I got to stay away from those sweets. But I like to bake. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same here.
yeah,
So do you go to that studio quite a bit then when they're doing
Well,
things
I
over
go.
there?
Yeah, I go. I don't. They aren't doing a lot right now over there.
Yeah.
Building. I just go over and visit my son Scott, or else I go over and see Bill and his
Mhm.
assistant Selena, and I just hang out sometimes over there. Or when Chad's there, Chad stays there when he comes to York with the
Mhm.
kids,
Mhm.
because there's apartments there,
Yeah.
and so Chad stays there. Then I'm over there a lot,
He
when
doesn't
they're
like to
here.
stay at your house?
No, no, no. I don't want all the confusion.
Gotcha.
I guess that sounds terrible, but the
No.
kids the kids do come and stay when they're here sometimes. But I actually have 4 bedrooms, but 2 of them are upstairs, and then they usually come in the summertime, and it gets pretty warm up there because the air conditioner doesn't hit up there. So, but they're welcome to stay here. They know that, but they like to stay at the building because they have more room to run around and do
Mhm.
things there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. So
And speaking of Bill, that's another great guy.
Yeah.
Bill
He's
is
just a
one of
great
the
guy.
nice guy. I mean, I tell everybody he's the Trump of York.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody, because they hate him here. But I have always stuck by him because I don't care what anybody says. He has always been a good guy.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these headphones, this microphone, and these cables were all provided by Bill.
Yeah,
And
after we had him on the podcast, we just got a knock on the door one day, and here was a delivery from him.
Uh-huh.
This is
Yep.
amazing. Yeah.
He
yeah.
is. He is a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the edges. And sometimes I'll let him have it, but I'll be his mom for a little bit. But other than that,
No, he's just a great guy. I
yes.
mean, him, J-Ro, and Chad are just like,
Salt of the
salt of
earth.
the earth and just great. Anytime we reach out to them, they're just quick to respond and, not a bad bone in their bodies. So, and I know Bill gets a lot of
Well,
heat for stuff. I don't know why.
I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't go that far to say not a bad bone in their body. Now and then it might be, but
Not that we know of, at least. So
no,
they've hid it
no,
from
no.
us.
They're all good. They are all good guys, really. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, Chad is more laid back like me.
Hmm.
And my other son is more like my husband. He'll tell you what he thinks, whether you want to hear it or not. And I tell him he has no filter. And I always tell Chad, he has twins, of course, and I always tell him that he has a true Grace twin. She's a sweetheart. So, yeah, because she acts like my son Scott, which isn't a bad thing, but it can be. But they're all good kids. They're all good kids. Yeah.
So, we're curious because, like, I know the guys get into this a lot too. Are you into conspiracy theories? If so, do you have any favorites or anything like that?
You watch the one with Nadine on their show, The Gracious Two?
I believe so. I think we're all caught up. So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. She's the one with that fills me in with all the conspiracy theories. She's a big one.
okay,
Uh, yeah, I have them.
okay.
I think JFK Jr. is alive. I think Princess Diana's alive.
Mhm.
I think so. Yeah, I do have conspiracy theories.
Did we land on the moon?
I don't think so,
I don't either.
but I have a problem with the flat Earth thing.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I kind of draw. I'm with J-Ro on that, especially like it just doesn't make any sense. Why is everything else round? And that's a lot to cover
But
up.
But the thing is, when I sit down at the beach and I look out over the ocean, I know I can't see the whole world, but when I look,
Right.
when I think at some point over the ocean it would go down.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, maybe, I don't know. But the flat Earth, that one's hard for me to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've talked to J-Ro since then, and he's like, yeah, that was just
Oh,
just crazy. That was a crazy one. He's like, I
oh
still
yeah,
can't wrap my head around all of it, and this guy's spouting off all this stuff about
oh yeah.
Antarctica. You can't go visit certain areas, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just, yeah, I was the same way.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was crazy. So
But my thing is, who knows? Who
yeah,
really knows?
who
You
really
know,
knows? Yeah,
it's just one of those. Well, we've been raised with all this stuff that we've been taught, and I'm at the point now with my age, I'm not sure all of it was true, you know? I mean, with all that's coming out and everything that's happening, it's like, wow, we've really been deceived, I think, on a lot of things, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, especially like the false idols thing with, all the actors and what they were getting into possibly, and that list not
Yeah,
coming out, and it's like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So,
exactly. Oh, and see, my thing when it comes to children,
yep,
you could caught doing something with a child, you don't deserve any due process. Just get rid of them. I'm sorry.
agreed,
Yep.
agreed. Yep,
That's the way I feel about it.
yeah.
No child needs to be brought into anything like that kind of stuff that they're
Right.
doing. You know?
And especially when you've got the power and the resources to do good with children, and you decide to do bad with
Right.
children. That's
Oh
the thing too. Like
yeah.
you could very you have a fork in the road, and you chose this path instead of that one, and
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I just and in my mind though, I can't wrap my head around people even doing that. I don't care how much rich you are. I don't care, but I just can't wrap my head around people doing that to kids.
yeah.
I mean, gosh.
Yeah.
Do
Uh,
you think the Trump Elon thing was
A ruse,
a ruse, or they call it a work in wrestling, where
a kayfabe.
yeah, where
Yeah.
they pretend like they don't get along, but they're trying to do you think it was to get that list out?
I do. And I
Mhm.
think they're getting along fine.
Yeah, me
Mhm.
too. Right away when it
Yep.
happened, she's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
they're at each other's throats and stuff." And I said, "Trump is
Mhm.
a wrestling Hall of Famer. He knows how to do this stuff." He probably
Yep.
said, "Here's what we're gonna do. I want you to say that you think I'm on the list,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
then totally hate me all of a sudden, and then
Right.
as
Right.
soon as they weren't able to get it, like, all right, we're best friends again."
Yeah.
Yep. I was a Democrat before Trump
Hmm.
ran in 2016, and I switched
Okay.
because to me, Trump was one of us.
Hmm.
He might not have talked the way politicians wanted him to talk and the way certain people wanted him to talk, but he was one of us. That's
Hmm.
the way I felt.
Same.
So, um, and I do think he is doing good things for the world and for our United States. Now, I did hear, I don't know if you heard this or not. I did hear today on one of my things I listened to that Canada has now become the 51st state.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be
So,
interesting. Yeah. Huh.
so here, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
It's just me
Well,
talking, but I did listen to a guy that was explaining it. And,
mhm.
I said, okay.
Well, my thing
Uh,
with too with Trump is not only is he doing what he's doing, which is great things in my opinion, but he's also fighting all these people that are trying to prevent him from doing good things. So,
well,
like, has there ever
here,
been a president that twice in 2 terms, not even two full terms yet, has done this much battling just to try to
right,
do the right
right.
thing and then help us out? And
Yep. And
yeah.
today's his 79th birthday.
Happy
This,
birthday, President.
and, that man has more stamina
Hmm.
than I have ever seen a man at that age have. I mean,
Yeah.
he has more
Especially
stamina
for
than I do.
especially for all the McDonald's he eats.
Exactly.
Which also makes him a very real person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's the only president that said did what he said he was going
Yep.
to do.
Yep.
I mean,
Unless he absolutely couldn't do it because he was getting
yes.
fought about it. He
Yep.
did.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is a shame that congresswoman was shot and killed today. You heard about that?
Oh no.
No.
Oh no, a
Remember, it's a
police
little
officer.
earlier here,
Yeah.
so
Oh, okay. She was a Democratic congresswoman, and there was also a Democratic congressman man too. But her and her husband were both shot and killed,
Oh
and
no.
the other one was shot, but he's in stable condition, but they were shot by a man dressed up as a police officer.
Oh, that's horrible.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's not like the police
That
don't
was
have
in,
enough
it was in
issues
Minnesota.
already. Oh, that's
in-
too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Where was it at?
In Minnesota.
Was it
Oh.
at a rally?
I don't think it. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't
Just-
see that part where I just heard the news and it was on Fox News and they had it alert on and I listened to that.
Man.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's the difference too. We can say that sucks even if it's not our party because
Oh yeah.
you know.
Park goes out to that. Those families. I don't care who they are. I don't care what affiliation you are.
Yep.
When someone passes away, and especially like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks.
It's just horrible.
And the police already have
I know.
a hard
I lost
enough
my
time.
husband. I know what it's like, and it's just
Yeah.
just
And to impersonate a police officer, that's not right either, because the police have a hard enough job as it is.
Yeah. Uh-oh. There we go.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All this defund the police and all that kind of stuff and all that,
Yeah.
And they say I wouldn't want to be a police officer in this day and age.
No.
Nope.
Because no matter what you do, you're wrong.
Yes.
I mean, everything's racist, everything's this, everything's that. I lived in 68 and 69 riots went on in York, Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
And I worked at the high school. And we had all blacks and whites. And I worked I graduated in 69 and I worked as an attendance officer in the office. And they came in and were shooting at the principal in the office and I had to go down on the floor.
Oh, geez.
And I had two black guys, friends of mine, who walked me to my car because my car was parked away from the school. And they walked me to my car. And I'll tell you, the girls were worse than the guys were back then. But we had the National Guard in York and everything. And the National Guard went up and down the street that I lived on.
Wow.
Yeah. So I lived the race riots. I lived them. And,
Mhm.
people here now, I walk that park. I walk the park. I see all kinds of people, black, white. I don't care who they are. I talk to everybody, and and everybody's nice. You just have to talk to them,
Yeah.
No, I have I keep my vigilance. I watch them
Oh,
around
for
me
sure.
and stuff. But everybody says to me, "You walk that by yourself?" Yes, I do. I'm not afraid. So
Well, you can always call on Bill Hines too. He'll protect you. So he'll keep the bad people away.
I can call Bill. Yeah, Bill. Well, honestly, he would protect them.
He would.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We feel we know
yeah.
him, we know him pretty well. So yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. He's a phone call away.
Oh yeah. He's like I said, he's a good guy.
He is.
He's helped the neighborhood out over there where the building is. And yeah, he's a very good guy. And even though people don't like him in York, I mean, but oh well, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Well,
Can't
not
please
everybody
everybody.
likes everybody.
Yeah.
My thing is, I try and be nice to everybody. I don't, and if they don't want to talk to me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But so, and Chad, well, all the guys were like that. I mean, all of them. And I'm just so sad that all this has happened the way it happened. And I wish that everything could get back to normal. I don't know that I don't know what normal is anymore, but that it could at least get back to some normalcy,
Yeah, because
I always tell Chad,
Mhm.
you can forgive, just don't forget.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
I have that tattooed.
Oh, do you?
I have a tattoo that says "Never forgive, never forget."
You can forgive to a certain extent. Keep your guard up, but
I'm that forgives. I forgive and give second chances with. So mine's forgive, just don't forget.
yeah, because it's got to be kind of tough for you because you kind of watch them all grow up and have the
Yeah.
success that they have, and then now you're,
Chad Taylor was at my house all the time. I mean, he
yeah.
spent nights here and everything. Yeah. So, yep.
I'm glad they're getting
There
back.
was a
I'm glad they're
story.
getting along. That's great that both Chads are getting along.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So am I. So am I. Yeah, I am too because they were always like brothers. I
Mhm.
mean, really. And Patrick's. I don't know if Patrick's coming around or not. I don't know, but I always like Patrick too. He was the more quiet one, but yeah. So
And uh, your son told us that there's a lot of stuff that Chad Taylor has that they're hoping to
Recording.
release. I was like, oh
yes,
yeah, that would be great.
yeah.
He said they have like other cuts. I want to hear the lightning crashes where Chad is in right away on the drums. I want
Okay.
to hear that
Yeah,
version because he's talked about that too. I love alternate versions of things, so
yeah. And I
I was like,
think they're doing something with Death of a Dictionary too.
yes, yeah, yeah. He
Very
said they're
cool.
releasing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I think they have to get clearance because they're gonna do it the legal way, unlike
Yeah.
someone else not to be named that doesn't do it the legal way. So,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully that'll come out and that'll be new, older music, and I love that too. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. That would be great. So, and the guy that sings "God Bless America," I can't think of his name. What's his name?
Lee Greenwood.
Yes, yes. He's gone double
good job,
platinum
Oh, good.
now
nice.
since all this went on with Trump and stuff. I mean, because Trump that loves that song, that
Yeah.
and YMCA.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, but I just heard Lee Greenwood went double platinum with that.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah. Um,
Did you
so
ever play? Yeah.
maybe Live could do something like that with their other songs.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Did you ever play Chad's drums?
Yep. We got
No,
froze. No.
No.
played the accordion. I play the accordion.
That's awesome.
Yeah, in fact, I still had my accordion until maybe 3 months ago. The leader of we have a service at church where it's a contemporary service, and the guy that leads that, it's just a young guy. And I asked him if he ever played the accordion. He said no. He said, but I'd love to. I said, and so I gave him my old accordion, which was still in perfect shape. So I got rid of my accordion. Yeah, I'm not going on stage with them. They would never have me before, so I'm not going on now.
I can't believe they never asked you to play that on one of the
I
albums. Come
I
on.
know, I know.
Who
I know.
knows? Maybe CT will have one. We don't even know about of you
I don't
playing
know,
it
but
and
nope,
releases
I'm
it.
not doing it now. Nope, not doing it.
Not gonna do it.
Not doing it.
So, what's your favorite thing to do in your free time?
Or what do you like to do?
Well,
Now that you're not playing
I
accordion anymore.
no, I'm not playing accordion anyway. I travel to the beach. I have friends that live down there, so I go down and I stay for free. And so I go down to the beach over the summer months. And the winter months. Sometimes I'll travel down. It's like about 3.5 hours for me to get there, but I'll go down and stay with them for a week or so. And I like to do that. I enjoy that. I enjoy walking. I enjoy people. I just love to be around people. But I have a cousin, and he has what they call aphasia, and that is with the brain, and he can't get his words out. But he loves to go to the casino. So I take him to the casino because his wife will not go.
No.
And he just, so he won't call me, but she'll call me and he'll get on the phone and say, when, every day he wants to go to the casino. Yeah. But I just really enjoy taking him there because he just lights up when I take him there.
That's awesome.
He just, yeah. And my brother, I don't have nobody's left in my family except my kids. And these cousins, my cousins, I'm very, very close to. They're like brothers and sisters to me that we grew up together. And So I help her take care of this particular one. But he just, like I said, he just lights up when he goes to the casino. So I take him. I don't spend a lot because I don't have a lot of money, but I don't spend a lot. But I put myself on a budget, and then I just go and sit and watch him. So yeah, we have a lot of fun though. We have a lot of laughs. So
That's good.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. So
What do you like to play?
oh, just the slots. I'm not
Slots,
into the
okay.
tables.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do the tables.
Same here.
See, I like poker and blackjack, so I'm total opposite of her. So
Oh, okay.
I'll sit at the tables and
I was on a cruise in April, and we went to the Bahamas, and I went with 5 other people, and these 5 other people I actually went to junior high with,
Wow.
and we still are in contact with each other and have lunch every once a month.
Wow.
So we all went on a cruise together to the Bahamas, and there was a casino there, so I said I'm going in. So I went in. Well, I won $875.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a Beach Boys fan? Were you a Beach Boys fan?
Yes, I like the Beach
Did you hear
Boys.
about Brian Wilson?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I wanted to pay tribute to him real quick. It's just
Yeah.
what a genius that guy was.
Mhm.
So,
Oh yeah, yep.
yeah.
He sure was. Yeah, they
And
all
what-
were.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a great documentary on Disney about the Beach Boys, but what Brian Wilson's dad or the Wilson's dad did to them was insane.
Yeah.
He made it to where they couldn't sell, they didn't have the publishing and they couldn't sell it and all that. And
Yeah.
it's like, man.
Well, it's something like what President Elvis Presley's did to him too.
Yeah. His manager, right? Whatever.
Manager.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's another one. Elvis Presley's still
Elvis
alive.
Presley. Oh, okay.
His name's Bob Joyce,
Okay.
and he's a pastor in Arkansas. And I have a friend that goes and listens to him. And if you can look him up, Bob, you can look him up, and he sounds exactly like him.
Hmm.
So there's another conspiracy theory for you.
I still think Andy Kaufman's still alive too. I don't know why, but
JFK, your junior.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard this one. I told Chad with this one. There's a guy out, and you can look it up. David Quigley is his name, and he is supposedly the real JFK Jr.
Hmm.
He was. They stole his identity. The Onassis family. The son of the Onassis guy took JFK Jr.'s identity. If you go on, he has a little movie sort of on there, a short version, but look that up too. There's another conspiracy theory.
We are learning some stuff today.
Yeah.
People think I'm nuts, but that's okay. I don't care. I'm at the age where I don't care.
It's fun. Why not? There's
tell
worse things
everybody-
you could be doing.
Well, I'm only 47, so because I turned my age around, so I'm only 47. So there you have it.
If I did that, I'd be older, so I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Yeah. I would be the same. So I'm 55. So I would be the same.
is around. Oh, do that when you get in your 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Do you want me to ask the closing question?
You can. It's not on here, but you
Okay.
can. I think I know the answer. I don't
Okay.
know. It could be a surprise.
Could be a surprise. So the last question
brother.
we ask all of our guests, since Justin's a drummer and our podcast is called Drumming Up Conversation, and we think we know how you might answer this. Who is your favorite drummer?
Do I have to answer that? Of course, it's my son,
She's like Gene Krupa all day.
Chad Gracey,
Yay.
CAG.
That's awesome.
Because really, to tell you the truth, I never
Mhm.
listened to the drums before on the music,
Mhm.
So he has to be. And if
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that, he'd probably. I don't want him getting upset with me.
Right.
Like he never has before. Yeah.
No, I mean, I have a lot of influences and stuff, but he's a big one for me because I was 13 when Throwing Copper came out. And, for
Oh
any
yeah.
musician, that's like their formative years, and that was all I played to
Mhm.
at
Mhm.
13 years old was live, just that whole album.
Yeah.
And he's
Oh.
very he's very humble about it, and we told him a couple times we had him on, it's like, you don't understand. Like there's a lot of kids my age that were hugely influenced by your drumming. Like the way you played, he hit them like they owed him money. It just yeah.
Well,
And
thank you very much, and I thank all the people that love live and bought their albums. I thank them too. I mean, because they wouldn't have made it without them. So
Mhm.
yeah.
no, that sound is from really the two Chads, but Gracie's drumming is just off the charts. It's so inspirational. I played like him. I hit the drums really hard and just played exactly like he did from watching him. And
I love the faces he makes.
Yes.
yeah.
And when he played the saxophone, he used to blow up his cheeks, and he was storing nuts in there or something. He never. I used. Yeah. So.
I'm glad you didn't say that with J-Ro on. He would have followed up on that.
Yeah.
So
You won't hear it now.
I could just hear J-Ro right now. Uh-oh. So,
So,
well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so
And
much.
you're quite welcome, and thanks for
yeah,
having me.
of course. And
And
anytime if you ever want to come on and just talk, let us know. We always like to have our guests back. But we really
okay.
appreciate you doing this, and thank you for bringing Chad into this world and having such a great son. So,
Thank you. And my other son's great too. I just want to put.
yes, yes,
He is a
absolutely.
great son too.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. We just
All
know the
right.
one personally,
I
but
know. I
yes,
know. You would love the
absolutely.
other one too.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. All right, so that was our amazing conversation with Lana, Mama Gracie. That was something we've been wanting to do for a while. Glad
Mhm.
we got to do it. She's a lot of fun. I knew when we got in the conspiracies that was gonna be a lot of fun. Just
Yeah.
listening to her on the Gracious 2. Again, we're so thankful for Bill, J. Rowe, especially Chad and Gracie for just being who they are.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just great talking to
Being
her.
approachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
It's
just fun
awesome.
hearing the behind the scenes and that she watched the four of them grow up and then what they're going through right now. It's just for her being the person she is and always wanting to be the mama. It's just like it's gotta kind of be a little frustrating for her. It's like, why can't we all just get along? You guys, when you were teenagers, you got along fine. You got along
Right.
great. This was your dream, and so. But yeah, it was great hearing that. There's a part of me that was like, "Hey, give us a couple embarrassing stories about Chad," but I was like, "No, I don't want to do that either."
Yeah.
But we'll save that for the next time.
To learn about her.
For sure, for sure. Oh, absolutely. And that was really cool that she sat where she sat with the two albums.
Yeah. It was really cool.
That's really really cool. That's very especially meaningful for the parents because they're the ones that had to go through the rehearsals and as we all know the rehearsal should always be at the drummer's house because they have the most equipment and it's toughest to set them
Mhm.
up and tear them down and so they had to deal with not only Chad playing all the time and practicing but when they would come over they would have to go with put up with all that. I'm going to say it because my parents had to put up with all that and I wasn't as big a success as Chad was and the rest of live. But yeah, it was great learning more about her, about where she worked and what she did, when she was raising them. And that's crazy to hear that he was laid off during the winter.
Yeah, for construction. But
That makes sense if it snows there,
yeah, I was gonna
the
say
weather
our
conditions.
winter's pretty brutal there. I guess
I
so.
don't know. I've
Yeah.
never been to Pennsylvania or especially, York or anywhere in Pennsylvania. I mean, I don't know how it works in Flagstaff because Flagstaff gets as cold as anywhere else in the
Yeah.
country. So I'm
It's
curious.
colder.
Yeah,
And
so I'm
sometimes
curious
more snow.
what their winter is like. I guess like we could always, ask we know some people there. We could always ask them how that works with
Mhm.
any they don't although there's not a lot of construction in Flagstaff though. They're not really
Lately
building.
there is though.
I
All
guess
those
that the
apartments coming
apartments
up.
by the
Yeah.
house, yeah. I guess it would be. I guess one day when we're driving, if someone's out there working, we can just
Go
ask them
ask
real
'em.
quick. Yeah.
You want to answer some questions for our podcast real quick?
And then hearing about the correctional facility and like
Yeah.
that to me, I don't know if I would like that. So hearing that he would wished he had done that his whole career was like, oh wow. But I guess overnights is probably easier.
Right. Because
Um,
everybody's technically supposed to be asleep.
I don't want to use the word easier because none of that. You always have to be ready. But I guess yeah, when they're you know where they're supposed to be and they shouldn't really get out, there's not much to worry about. But then there's always that. Well, what if someone does try to escape and they are successful and start breaking out other people? We have a problem, and
Yeah.
they probably don't have as much help during the night as they do during the day.
Right.
So that's
I
the
would
part.
hate it if you work nights and I work days. I would hate that.
I've done my time with the
Nighttime
overnight
shifts.
shifts. I
Yeah.
did it for about 10 years collectively, not consecutively, but collectively,
Mhm.
probably just jobs here and there. So, yeah, I've definitely done my time with that. So, yeah, yeah, for
I
sure.
did it for 3 days at the county jail in San Luis Obispo. That was enough for me.
Yeesh, yeah.
Working one night was 7 p.m. to 11 or 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
and then 2 days 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then the fourth
That was the
day,
one I did a lot, 11 p.m. to
the
7
fourth
a.m.
day was supposed to be 7 to 7 again, but
I did some
at the third day I was like, I can't do this.
10 to 6 and 11 to 7 was a lot of mine.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I was in my 20s and yeah, my 20s, my teens and 20s when I did
I
it.
would
So
never be able to do a nighttime job now. At 8:30, I'm like on the couch,
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't survive it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, intro and outro music.
intro and outro music is provided by Arizona prog metal band Temporal Displacement. You can find their music anywhere you listen to your favorite music. You can email us at drummingupconversation@gmail.com. We do encourage people to email us. Send us some questions. We'll answer them. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Drumming Up Conversation and on X at Drum Conversing. You can find our audio podcasts on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can find the video on YouTube. And don't forget to like, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating and review, tell a friend.
Yeah, subscribe because that helps us a lot as much as viewing, subscribing helps us too with all that. And yeah,
for
watch or listen.
algorithms.
Well, that and just, like we're not trying to like get rich off this, but we would like
Because
to
we're not.
oh, we would like to, kind of start putting more into it. Like we've said we want to get better video in here, especially when we have guests in studio, get a better view because you
Mhm.
were Wilson
I was
the
Wilson.
last one.
Yep.
Just trying to find a good angle on it, and I like to get something that we can maybe put on the wall that like is remote controlled that
Yeah.
can move back and forth, stuff like
Different
that.
angles. Yeah.
I don't want to do multi-camera just because I don't know how editing's going to be on that, and I'm just going to get frustrated and break something. So yeah,
You
me.
frustrated?
So I'd rather have one that I can just move while we're talking. So when we're talking, it shows us, and when the guest's talking, whatever, or just have like the single overhead or something
Mhm.
like that. But yeah, for the time being, just tell friends, watch, subscribe, all that good stuff. So,
Yeah.
and thanks again, Lana, for coming on. That was a lot of fun talking to you.
That was awesome.
And,
She's a great lady.
Yeah, she's awesome. So, and raised two great sons. So, for Jumping Up Conversation, I'm Justin Wood.
I'm Andrea Wood.
No mercy.
Drumming